I want to tell you about the time that I ruined the life of an online troll. To understand how I found this individual, I need to take you back to 2015. It was in 2015 that I'd spend my days googling pointless topics. One day I decided to look up the meaning of life. I scrolled through various pages of search engine results until I came across the concept of nihilism. Nihilism interested me because it was unlike any other belief I found during my search for the meaning of life. To put it simply, nihilism is the belief that the world is meaningless. It's a pessimistic approach to life which suggests there's no point because nothing really holds relevance. Nihilism can make people believe existence does not matter, therefore their actions do not either. Many people view nihilism as a realistic belief that opposes our human nature to seek significance. I wanted to speak to a real-life nihilist and hear their opinions on life. What I found shocked me. I decided to join several groups on Facebook surrounding nihilism. These groups are full of dark humour and memes that made fun of life and death. The community was predominantly made up of people who were depressed, or people who would see the humour in depression. Suicide jokes were a hit in nihilist groups. I found that the constant sharing of suicide memes meant that people become desensitised to death. People would believe that their existence is meaningless, which is not a good thought to have if you're dealing with genuine depression. I spoke to one individual privately who said they did not want to live anymore. They told me, the world is not real, but my sadness is. This made me realise that nihilism and depression are a bad combination. I reassured this person and I told them that they were important. A few months later I went to get in touch with them to see how they were getting on, but I discovered that their Facebook account had vanished. Now fast forward to mid-2016 and I get a Facebook notification from one of these nihilist groups. It was someone seeking genuine advice on how to kill themselves. They said that they wanted their death to be peaceful, but they were scared. Upon checking the comments of the post, I noticed one person advising them to run into an oncoming train, as this would be painless and fast. The person giving the advice was the troll whose life I went on to ruin. For the remainder of the story, I'm going to refer to them as Nigel to protect their identity. Now, at the time, I thought Nigel was being edgy for the sake of it, but this was not the case. I thought back to the time when I spoke to the person who told me their sadness was real but the world was not. The fact they disappeared off social media gave me goosebumps. I assumed that the worst had happened. I decided to look up posts and comments made by Nigel within the group. Most of his comments turned out to be methods on how to kill yourself. Nigel would give people reassurance that death was the only way out. He would pretend he was doing the people a favour. One man posted to say he was ashamed that he kept failing to kill himself. Nigel told him not to beat himself up about it, and if he kept trying, one day he'll be able to do it. I realised that Nigel was not your ordinary troll, and that I had to do something to stop him. I created a fake profile to contact him. At this time, I had no intention to ruin his life. I just wanted to stop him ruining the lives of others. On my fake profile, I told him that I'd seen his comments and that they could have a devastating effect. He replied to tell me that he did not care. From my understanding, Nigel had the belief that depression was some kind of weakness to humanity. It appeared he was on a mission to weed out the weak members of society. It was almost like he got a buzz from it, some weird kick that motivated him to do it that I just could not understand. I warned him that if he continued there'd be repercussions. He told me he didn't care, and then he blocked my fake profile. I logged into my genuine profile and checked the new post by Nigel. A few days later I saw that he was back to his old tricks. He was yet again giving suicide advice to another mentally tortured soul. Nigel had made a crucial mistake by not setting his Facebook profile to private. I was able to see every post that he ever made, as well as the friends that he had. Nigel was a family man, and he made it clear on Facebook how much his wife meant to him. I decided that I'd give Nigel his second warning. This time I'd make it a bit more personal. This time I wanted to put the fear into him. Within 10 minutes I was able to find Nigel's home address. I decided that I would write a letter to his address. This letter was handwritten to add a personal touch. On the envelope I addressed it to his wife's name, which I easily found on Facebook. I did this so he could not simply brush me under the carpet. The letter read the following: "Your husband continues to encourage suicide online. He provides methods of suicide for depressed people and he must be stopped. Could you please let him know that this is his final warning? I will be watching." This letter was sent with the intention to make Nigel stop doing what he does. I thought that this would be the only way to get through to him. The more I thought about it, the more guilty I felt for his wife that she may be living in fear. This was something I did not take into consideration initially, My mission to stop Nigel clouded my thought. However, I knew this was necessary for the greater good. It had been a month since I wrote the letter, and I'd not seen a single post from Nigel. I thought maybe I'd finally gotten through to him, but I was wrong. Another month had passed and Nigel was back at it again. I was disappointed. However, I was not prepared to give up. I reached out to the depressed victims to let them know that they had my support. Nigel had to pay for his actions, but how? I decided to take a deeper look into Nigel's personal life. His use of the internet meant that Nigel's life was essentially an open book. I was stunned when I discovered that he worked at a care home. He was not someone I could trust in society to care for others. I knew I had to deliver the final blow. Nigel's LinkedIn profile revealed that he was a senior member at this care home. The care home was reputable and they risked their reputation by hiring him. I dug deep to pull out a barrage of screenshots I had of Nigel's online activity. After contemplating, I decided I'd get in touch with their care home via their Facebook page. I logged into my fake profile via a proxy and I sent them the screenshots. I did not believe that he was fit to be trusted with human life. A member of staff replied to say that the case had been handed over to the CEO. A week later, Nigel was no longer on the company website and he'd also removed the care home from his LinkedIn profile. It was clear that his actions had caused him to lose his job. Nigel's relationship status on Facebook changed from "in a relationship" to "it's complicated." In almost an instant, he had lost his job and damaged his relationship with his family. Nigel had completely stopped posting on Facebook and eventually shut his account down. This guy's life was turned upside down and it all stemmed from his actions online. I have comfort in knowing that he would never encourage suicide again. Everybody has their right to an opinion, but nobody has the right to prey on the vulnerable. Do I feel guilty? Of course, but then I remember all the people that he sought to destroy. This man was in a position of care. What if my actions had saved the life of someone? It's thoughts just like these that make my guilt fade away. And this was the story of the time that I ended an online troll.